The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN and score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice of the guy. It's me, really, bro. Villain, bro. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Well, I don't have to play the reverse sweep drop, but gosh darn it, I can't get a hit or lock to save my life, man.
It's progress, though. You got to start somewhere. It's progress.
I know. And, at some point, it felt like the wheels had to fall off and the insane heater we was going on had to come to a close. If anybody had any questions, it's definitely at a screeching halt now. 4 locks in a row. That hasn't happened all season. Not 1 point all season have I ever lost 4 locks in a row. And 2 of them were the Storm. That's the crazy. Yeah, 2 of them were the Storm. Wow. My feelings are incredibly hurt right now. All right. It's all right. Scott Studio Reichel is keeping us afloat, and I mean, oh, it was so very needed. Scott Studio Reichel, people. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, going well. I can't complain. Swept last episode, so I ended up having Jewel Lloyd under her RA, which was never in doubt. Had the 8.5. I think she ended up with 4, so I appreciate it. Sweat-free. For the dog, it was sweat-free until it wasn't for about 5 minutes. I had the Dream halftime full-time against the Mercury, and they led like 17-4, like 7 minutes into the game. I'm like, oh, they're about to win this game by 20. And then it was a tie game in the fourth quarter. So I was a little bit nervous, but then I think the Mercury got outscored 17-2.
19-2.
19-2. Start the fourth quarter, and the Dream ran away with it. So nice sweep. I think that Dream price was plus 185. I think closed at 2-1. So if you actually got a better number if you watch it later, but worked out. Fading the Mercury on the road. Can't complain. The Dream are figuring it out, and I'll tell you what, they're not bad. So I know you like their playoff odds. They've been winning some games recently.
We got plus 450 to make the play.
Deal,
and they're 1 game out, and we're sitting on a plus 450 ticket.
They're 1 game out. They look good. Tina Charles is now the second all-time leading scorer in the history of the league, and congrats to her.
Shout out to her for that double-double, plus 160.
Yeah, she dominated. Call. So overall, can't complain. Nice sweep, and we'll try to keep her rolling.
Yep, that plus 160 was the only highlight. I hit my dog, didn't hit my lockup Storm minus 6.5. I actually watched the Storm get, well, I lied. I didn't watch them get hooked. So I saw the writing on the wall when I think it was Brittany Sykes. First of all,
somebody had a 3-pointer there.
That I'm pretty sure it was Sykes. And that's when I got up out my seat and I said, all right, I'm about to just start walking to the garage because I'm not hitting this spread bet. But Ariel Atkins, I mean... She proved why she's an Olympian in that game, bro. I went to go get some food. I told myself I wasn't gonna pay for the crazy expensive food at the game, but I lied. I was starving and I just felt like I had to go get something, so I went and paid for something.
Where'd you get?
In the line. So they have a chicken sandwich that is like the best chicken sandwich I've ever had. Okay. It's got mumbo sauce on it. It's amazing. Shout out to them. They have like a really, if you ever go to a Mystics game, get the chicken sandwich. But you can't get, it's 2 of them. You got to get the one that's closest to the basketball court, not the one that's all the way on the far side of the arena. Great chicken sandwich. However, while I was in line for the chicken sandwich, the third quarter started. I lied to you not. I sat there in line and I heard Ariel Atkins for 3. And I was like, oh, okay, shout out Ariel. Then I heard it again, Ariel Atkins for 3. I said, oh my gosh. And then it said it again, Ariel Atkins. And I was like, what is going on out there? Yo, Ariel Atkins was literally torching them in the second half. And the Storm have very, very real problems of how they're closing out games right now. But Gabby Williams is on the way, and that's going to help. All right. Let's talk about the 4 games that are actually happening today, as Scott tried to get me before we were on air. Technically, these games are going off today. But before we do that, gotta talk about everything in the merch store is 10% off with promo code FOOTBALL. And I'd recommend you go ahead and get you some WNBA Gambling Podcast gear. I got a windbreaker that I really am eyeing. I need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. And I'm going to do it while they got 10% off using that promo code football at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Plus, college football is kicking off this week, so make sure you're tapping into the Sports Gambling Podcast and the college experience. I'll be there on Saturday, Kobe Dan and me, breaking down every single game, going through the slate every Saturday, all season. Make sure you check us out on the college experience on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Scott. Let's do this. We are talking about two games that we have not talked about, and two of these games are deja vu games. The Dream are actually playing in the same location. Atlanta Dream at home, welcoming the Phoenix Mercury. Mercury opened up lane 1, currently lane 3. 163 is the total. That's actually gone down half a point. Injury report. I actually don't think I have anything for these two teams. Let me go back and double check. No. Shakira Austin. No, that's not them. Nope, I'm good to go. All right. Atlanta Dream catching 3 at home. Deja vu game. Atlanta won the first one. Final score was 72-63. It went under the total of 166. If we run the deja vu principles back, because it did hit this game, the dog won the first one. The favorite is back favored in the second one. That's been a very, very good spot to catch the deja vu game. By the way, deja vu game did hit in the Liberty game just backwards. The favorite won the first one, dog won the second one. Well, covered. The Liberty one regardless, but covered. Scott, lane 3, Phoenix Mercury on the road. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I know it's a deja vu game, but I don't really care. It's the Mercury on the road. Why are they laying here? Is the argument that they got off to a really bad start and they looked decent for the second and third quarter? Is they got buried again in the fourth quarter?
That's
I
a
don't
6-point. Like, how often does a 6-point quarter happen, though?
Not often, but my point is when it came down to crunch time, they fell apart again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I really had any positive takeaways for the Mercury going, well, if this and this goes right, they started the game horribly and they ended the game horribly. And the Dream have won, 4 straight now? Beating pretty good teams in the process? Or they've won 3 straight. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 3. But they beat the Storm, beat the Sun, beat the Mercury. This team's underrated.
Yeah.
I feel like the common theme that we're kind of running into here for the second half is that this team's starting to figure it out. And we called out the coaching staff, we called out Tina Charles, and we wondered how this team was going to look. Of course, Ryan Howard being injured was a big reason for the struggles. But Canada's kind of taken a back seat a bit, at least for scoring. She's done a good job facilitating, etc. Ryan Howard's been good. Tina Charles has been great. It's really the main story here. She was really bad entering the break, and we were fading her quite regularly. She's been really good. And I still don't think the Mercury on the defense, at least I should say on the road, I don't think they care. The rebounding wise, they're not very good because Griner doesn't care about rebounds. I learned that the hard way a couple episodes ago. But I do think that the Mercury are just a team I really never want to back on the road. And them laying against a team that I think still underrated. It seems like the Dream are being priced like it's still the first half of the season. This is a different team. As far as I'm concerned, they're a playoff team. And I think that they're good at home. So I'm going to go with the Dream again. I know that it goes against the principle, but we also have a long-standing principle of fading the Mercury on the road. And that one kind of is above the deja vu angle in the hierarchy for me. So give me the Mercury fade on the road. Give me the Dream. Plus money? Plus money? That's such a good deal. What do you think?
So there's a multitude of things. For one, I do want to fade the aspect of Atlanta just oddly being good early on in games. They're never good early in games. In fact, I'm pretty sure prior to that game they were 0-7, 1-7, something like that in the first half at home as a home dog. So that's the number one thing. So I think I'm running back Phoenix Mercury first half. They've been solid in the first half on the road as a favorite. I think this is probably another good spot. That 6-point quarter was just kind of abnormal, and that's the only fear that I have of taking Atlanta for the full game here because Phoenix wasn't hitting their threes, and it's just like if they hit their threes, this is a completely different game. And they kind of showed it to you when they kind of heated up a little bit in that in that third quarter and kind of brought this game close and then no showed the fourth. But like I'm gonna take Atlanta plus the 3.
It's just
Out of
so
respect.
tempting. If the
Out of
Mercury were
respect.
getting points, I could consider it. But them laying here, the Dream are good. At least apparently they're good now.
If Mercury was plus 2 here, I would have hammered Mercury. It's the laying 3. It's the laying of the 3 that's concerning.
There is a chance the Mercury, by the way, like potentially win this game, which would surprise me. But there is a chance this game just comes down to the wire. That's a realistic outcome. Like I don't see the Mercury winning by multiple possessions.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it does come to the wire. Mercury first half. Mercury blow the first half. Whatever first half lead they had, they blow it. Atlanta brings it in close, and we just watch and see what happens from there. But yeah, Mercury first half. That's the play for sure. They are the better first half team in terms of on the road. Matter of fact, let me just pull those numbers up and stop shooting from the hip. Because what's the updated numbers on that? Let me go. Money Baller. Shout out to the Money Baller for having all these easy access first number lines. Let's see. Here we go. So after that last game, the Phoenix Mercury moved to 4-2 as a road favorite in the first half. ATS. Actually, they're 5-1 for the full game. ATS. That was their first loss as a road favorite against the spread. That's actually, wow. I didn't even realize that.
I'll remember that while I'm cashing my my tickets for Dream halftime full time.
And then the Atlanta Dream 2-8 in the first half as a home dog. So I still want to fade that. I'm taking the Mercury in the first half. It's the second half that gives me pause. What's that total at now? 163.5.
This one I could lean to the over with you if you wanted
Because if they hit their threes, they're scoring over this. Like, what does that close at? That was that 140? Was that 135?
Yeah, I think so.
When is the last time a Mercury game fell under that total? I wonder.
I don't have that in front of me.
I think I can pull it up. Let me see results. No,
I mean I can scroll and look through it, but
no, it doesn't say it. I thought it was something that was easily going to just show me the number total. Well, I might have.
I went against the Sky. They went under in both, but that's because they just had the Sky no-show 2 games offensively.
Yeah, but like, there's not too many times where it's just that low. Like it fell that low, 135. I just feel like regression in terms of shooting. They have a much better shooting day. They're going to continue to shoot the threes regardless. Like this team lives or die by the 3. I kind of want to go over, Scott.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm probably not going to play the total, but I'll lean over with you if you want.
Yeah. I think they shoot a lot better. Even Atlanta didn't really shoot the ball that well. They just played really, really good defense. Scoring is up. That's a deja. All right, so we didn't play both deja vu principles, but we played one. We took the opposite on the total. So, all right, first game went under, second game goes over. Ooh, player props. Okay. So, my gosh, betting is so hard sometimes, man.
I mean, there's one prop that's just staring me in the face, but
no, but Jordan Canada had 7 assists and they took 1 away.
And that happened to me with AT a couple months ago.
They took 1 away. She had 7. She had 6. They took it away, made it 5. Then she got another one, so she finished with 6, but it was really 7. And I saw it happen. I watched it happen real time. Real time. So all the opportunities are there. All of the chances. I don't have the exact percentages because I'm not a nerd. I said nerd. Where's the nerd drop?
We have a nerd drop? Oh, okay. We don't play that one that often.
I know. I can't remember the last time I said nerd, but yeah. So I don't know the actual percentages of assist chances that she had, but I'm telling you off the eye test, there were so many times that I thought she was going to cash this assist and they missed the shot. And so if I think scoring is up in this game overall, if we're going with the over because scoring is going to be up, then I think those missed opportunities for Jordan Canada are actually true opportunities. And of course, she gets hooked in that last game. She's going to go off on the assist today. And I just want to cash with it. So Jordan Canada over 6.5 assists. And I actually think I'm going to ladder that this time, Scott. I didn't do it last time. I talked about it, but I didn't do it. I'm going to do it this time.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you. Can you guess which prop I'm thinking of?
That you want to take?
Yeah. There's one prop that I feel like is kind of an auto play, and I'm wondering if you know what it's gonna be.
Let me look around. So Well, I don't think you're bold enough to take Griner under 6.5 assists.
I think he meant rebounds, but whatever. It's not. That wasn't it.
Rebounds.
That wasn't
I
it.
did. Tarasi? Because Tarasi had 0 points for a minute in that game. Like, I think it was to the third quarter when she hit a 3 and finally got 3 points. So I'm gonna say that you're looking at some type of Tarasi fade.
So I like where your head's at, but no, it was Tina Charles over 8.5 rebounds.
Oh well, duh.
That's a
She had
minus
17.
140. It's at minus 140 on Caesars right now, and I got to take that. Last 2 games, 32 rebounds. 32. She had 17 last meeting a couple days ago. 8.5. Yeah, Griner's not going to rebound. You're right about that angle. I'll use that to my advantage. Give me Charles the over with her rebounds. Really? 8.5? I know most books have 9.5, but I see Caesars has a rogue 8.5. I'll take both. I see a double-double in her future. I can see her going for 11, 13. I don't see her going for like 17 again because there were just so many missed shots, but that's a very low number for Charles in her current form. Give me Charles over rebounds.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to back her. Yeah, I'm with you. Over 9.5. Ryan Howard hit 19. Somewhat slightly inefficient. Alicia Gray cooked up for 21.
This team just looks balanced right now. That's the word I'd use to describe them. They just have a lot of weapons. They're actually blending well. We're kind of waiting for it.
Jordan Canada keeps the offense. Like, when they get in those half-court sets, she keeps them moving. You really want to know what I think it was? I think it's when they moved Haley Jones out of the lineup.
Yep.
I think Haley Jones was just kind of filling in a space there, and it just wasn't enough. And Naz Hillman is now giving you better defense, gave you another rebounder. She had 8 rebounds in that last game. They refused to give us props on her, by the way.
They're scared.
It's horribly scared. Yeah. So who shoots the ball better? Is Tarasi or Sophie Cunningham? It has to be.
I'll go with Cunningham if I had to pick between the two. No bias, of course. Not being biased at all. I'll lean to Cunningham on that one.
What's the 3-point lines at? I don't see a line on Cunningham. Tarasi's at 2.5 plus 136.
That was also the funny part, by the way, because like Charles broke the second place number, and then they showed like the graphic on the board. Like, congrats to Tina Charles, and it's like she's 3,000 behind Tarasi. Like, what the hell is this? Like, how did she get to 10K? It's wild to think about.
Insane. Tarasi really was insane as a player. We just didn't like her.
I missed most of her prime, to be honest. I call like the back end of it when she was with Griner, but I missed like the early stage of her career.
All right. Yeah, that's it. I think we talked about the key ones right there. Okay.
Yep.
Before we get to the next game of the slate, though, got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. You can, get a chance to win 1,000 times your entry with their Fantasy Pick'em. Or you can play Best Ball and have a chance to win 15 million in prizes. You can use special boosts and all of that. Matter of fact, we'll even give you a special pick right now if you sign up using our promo code NBA SGPN. First time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN, and have a chance to get that $1,000 cash bonus. And then you get a special pick, and you can try to win 1,000 times your money. Like, you can really come up Underdog Fantasy. All right, Circus Sports. It's Circus sign up weekend right now, August 22nd through the 24th. If you're not already, you should probably be trying to head on to Vegas, hang out with Sean and Ryan, and use that promo code SGP15 to save 15% off your hotel room for a sign up weekend where you can sign up for Circus Survivor and Circa Millions and have a chance to win up around even more, possibly could be more, $16 million in prizes because there's no rake. And you can also sign up with a proxy and maybe, you can go out there and win. So we have proxy services, proxy.footballcontest.com. You can save $50 with promo code SGP and get a free hat. And don't forget, you can sign up for Circa between now and September 7th. It just doesn't have to be this weekend. All right, next game up. Scott, not going to lie, I'm going to this game too. Washington Mystics at home, welcoming the Los Angeles Sparks. Mystics open up at 3.5. They are up to 5.5, Scott. Laying 5.5 here. 161 is the total. Injury report, and Katie Lou Samuelson is out. Shakira Austin is probable. I'm telling you, she's gonna play. We have Sugg Sutton is available to play. She just got traded over from the Mercury. She's available to play in the game. And then, yeah, I don't have anything else.
I mean, I'm going to do it. It's fair. I don't have a choice.
Very much so is a toilet bowl game. Scott, toilet bowl principles, you do not lay the points. You take the points.
Just give me the under. I'm just going to take the under here. I
Okay.
know that the Sparks, you make the argument, are, of course, a bad defensive team, but we've seen the Mystics fall apart in the second half offensively all the time, and I don't see that changing. The Sparks offensively are also just not very good, at least watching the last couple of weeks. They made some moves. We thought they'd be a little bit better, but they really haven't, and post-break, they have not really done much. So I'm going to go under here. Looking at the Mystics last couple of games, scored 77 against the Storm, 83 against the Lynx, 68 against the Lynx, and those were the 3 games post break. So decent offensively, but this total's in the 160s. Like, I don't understand why this total is so high. The Sparks, we know, are awful on the road offensively. They've scored less than 72 points in back-to-back games, scored less than 72 in 3 the last 4. They scored 71 against the Aces. The Aces give up 80 to everybody. Like, that's not a good showing at all by any means. I'm going with the under. I think there's a couple ways to get there. Either both teams kind of struggle to actually do much because they're not the most talented, or both defenses actually look okay. But I thought the Sparks were fine against the Sun. They weren't awful. They covered. They gave up 69 points in that game. Like, I thought they were okay there. Give me the under. I think this is too high of a total for teams that I'm not exactly sold on scoring-wise. Give me the under.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like 5.5 is crazy, but I will give.
I understand it, but I don't know if I want to take it. But I understand why the line is where it is.
And they're 1-0 as a favorite this season. So, I mean, I can't crap on them too much.
I can't even think who they beat. Who they beat?
It was Dallas.
Okay.
Oddly enough, they dropped that first half, and then covered the game. So, but Dallas also can't do anything in the second half of games. Yeah, it's very clear. You take the Sparks plus the points here. I can't with 2 possessions with the Mystics. No. However, I'm still taking Mystics first half.
Okay. Are you going with Mystics halftime, full-time Sparks, or you're not going to do that?
Because do the Sparks really have it to win the game? I mean, they're
on the road, probably not. They're 2-12 on the road. But if there's a spot, maybe. I mean, once again, I'm kind of just throwing out ideas because you like Mystics.
Wow, they're 9-5. Wow, they're 9-5 ATS on the road. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I think this is probably gonna be a close game. I've seen my fair share of close games in the entertainment center as well. And what if this is like, what if the Mystics do the same thing like they did with the Storm, where they actually were down to the Storm in that first half and they battled it back and made it close? Like, this could be a very close game, and the Mystics could win this by 2-3 points. Like, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
I'm not sure either team gets to 80, so I'll go with the under as my only thought for this game.
Let's see here. Looking at where are we at? There we go. Over under for the yeah, it's probably because the Mystics are 16-12 to the over, but like I just think this is a better Mystics team defensively, and I just don't know where the Sparks are going to get offense, especially if Shakira Austin and Dearica Hamby just kind of like cross each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the Sparks getting this unlimited offense? Rakia Jackson has been really good, but like
they don't have any real consistent options besides Hamby, and we know Austin's a good rim protector.
And it doesn't feel like that they're willing to just completely change the offense to fit what Odyssey needs going forward in terms of just running the floor and getting her out in open space. So, yeah, I'm with you.
And a reminder, by the way, the Mystics are allowing the fewest points in the paint per game in the entire league. So it is a pretty bad matchup for Hamby.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite plays thus far. Under 161 in this one. Okay. Yeah, we take the points here. It's a toilet bowl. You can't.
Yep.
You don't lay this. Laying 5.5 in the toilet bowl game is actually insane. It's kind of insane. All right, where are we at? Just before we. All right, player props.
Is there anything you actually feel good about taking in this game?
Rebounds.
You can give out some leans and stuff. I'm just saying, is there anything that you actually really like in this matchup? Because it's a toilet bowl game. Hamby maybe can get some rebounds in there.
She's been really good rebounding. Let me go pull up the numbers. I'm pretty sure she's been really good rebounding basketball as of late.
Hamby's at 9.5. She has gone over in 3 of the last 4. She's had at least 9 rebounds in 5 straight games.
What was it that was it the Sun game that just played where she went under?
No, she went over in the last 2.
Okay. What was the game?
She had 10 against the Sun, 11 against the Aces.
What was the one that she missed?
So she missed the game against the Sky right before it. She had 9.
Oh, well, because Angel Reese hogged all them.
And she still had 9, so it wasn't like that.
Yeah, like, all right. And it's plus money, Scott. Like, come on,
Yep.
We're getting plus money at 9.5 rebounds.
I kind of thought about Rakia rebounds.
So what's her double-double? If 9.5 rebounds is plus money, what's the double-double price?
I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be probably in the low 100s. Her price is plus 110.
Okay. I prefer, I'll take plus 110. I think she gets 10 points. Yeah. Plus 110. Let me see. What's this say for the 9.5 rebounds?
If I had a choice of plus 108 for the rebounds or plus 110 for double-double, I'm just taking the rebounds. I'm just sacrificing
Is it plus 108?
It's plus 108. I'll just take the rebounds and ignore the points.
Okay. I thought it was right at even money. Oh, I see plus 106. Okay. All right. I guess the couple of 4 cents isn't that bad. All right.
Rakia rebounds has actually been good lately. She's at 4.5. It's actually plus 125 on the over. She's had at least 5 rebounds in 3 straight. At least 5 rebounds in 8 of 10. So that line feels low to me.
Hey,
she's good.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't the historic things that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are doing for their rookie campaign, like if this was any other rookie year, Rakia is a clear-cut rookie of the year. Like, clear-cut.
I think she'll finish in 3rd place. If we're doing the finalist system,
gonna finish in 3rd.
If we're doing the finalist system where you're inviting 3 people there, even though one person's obviously going to win, then she'll be invited. Or she'll be in the finalist category.
She just got caught in a bad year. Like, Caitlin and Angel both in this class. Like, there's no way you were gonna win it. But if this was any other year, she's winning this.
Yeah, she's pro ready, which is nice. But her rebounds, I think, are mispriced at 125 when she's gone over once again in 3 straight. So I'll go with the over there. You like Atkins points?
Rebounds is mispriced. Her over on points is at 13.5. Her last 5 games have been 13, 15, 14, 15, 13, 13, 16.
So it sounds like a good number. It's like right there.
Yeah, it's like literally right there. And it's at plus 105. Just throwing that out there for the people. But what'd you say?
I just said I like Rakia points. I was asking if you like. I liked Rakia rebounds over. I was asking if you liked Atkins.
I need to go back and check my records of the games I went to because I feel like every single game I've gone to, there's been a different point where Ariel Atkins has taken that game over, and I've been sick every single time I haven't bet it. I need to check the records. Okay,
so she's going over in 5 of the last 8, but that was the first time post All-Star break she went over. She had 25.
Let me see. I went to this Sparks Mystics game last year. Or was it the year before? No, it was last year.
She had 12 last game against the Sparks.
What's the 20? I'm trying to figure out which one of these games.
They were both in LA, so probably not last year. It's probably 2 years ago.
So it was the 2 years ago.
I don't have that in front of me.
Let me see. I gotta figure that out. Because I feel like every single time I have been in the building. Which one is it this one where they won by 3? I think it was. Yeah. No. Sykes was on the Mystics already by that point. She had 20 in that game against. I feel like I'm not tripping. Every time I'm in the building, Ariel Atkins has a good game. Let me find out. I can't remember what year I went to that Sky game where they played the Sky. It was James Wade's last year, whatever that was. I feel like every single time I've seen them play, she has gone off on them.
Could be. Once again,
Let
this
me
is
see.
you're
Yep,
going
she had
down memory
19 in
lane.
this game. All right, I'm about to play Ariel's over. She goes
Okay.
off when I'm in the building. I feel like every single game she's gone off. Every single time.
We know the Sparks aren't good defensively, so if she hits a couple threes, she should go over.
What's her threes at? It's probably it's minus, like, you got to get to 3 to get you a solid price. It's at over 1.5 and minus 178. I can't like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know whose 3-pointers are still at 1.5 and she's hitting 50%? She actually has the best 3-point percentage in the entire WNBA.
Was it
Believe it or not.
Dolson?
Yep.
Okay. I swore
Believe
off
it
her
or
props,
not.
but I'm rooting for you.
I probably don't want to do it in this one because we think this is under game, but I'm probably gonna back Dolson on these threes soon, very soon. I don't know which game. Maybe against the Sky. It's coming up. All right. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Back to this game that's actually being played. Yeah, Hamby rebounds is probably the best prop for me.
I'm just going to go for Akia plus money and kind of move on. I do want to ask you, though, Shakira Austin's points are at 13.5. She has gone over in each of the last 2 games, at 16 against Minnesota, 24 against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Had gone under before that quite regularly, and she went under this number in the first meeting of the season with 12. Any thoughts on her game for this one? Do you like the matchup? You think 13.5 is too low?
I think I think that now they have moved it up.
Now you
It's
go
slightly
for the under?
concerning. Yeah, slightly concerning because she's been at 10.5, 11.5. I've never
Mhm.
actually seen her get to 12.5. I think it went straight to 13.5. And I've been watching and she's really locked in offensively. Like, they're drawing up plays for her. Like, the ball isn't going to Slim, it's going to her. And
No, she'll look
so
good.
yeah, like that's their offense right now. So I can't fade it. I can't fade it.
I might actually be tempted by Hamby under her 16.5 points. She has gone under this number in 5 straight games, and she has gone under against the Mystics in 4 of the last 5. Said before, the Mystics are allowing the fewest points in the paint per game in the entire league. That's how Hamby gets all of her points. So I actually think it's a really bad matchup for her. I don't mind Hamby under 16.5 points.
Yes, still on Mystics first half. All right. I'm good with that. Okay. Next game up. Before we get to talk about that, I gotta talk to you about Rhythm. Because we already talked to you about all their features in WNBA. Yes, you already know how good they are with WNBA. But they also have college football, NFL ready for you. Very, very proud partner of ours. And so you can build one of your own models under Rhythm, or you can just go ahead and let them do all the work and you just cash the bets. Go get the picks, cash the bets. Been using them for WNBA and golf all summer. And now we get to bet football with Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. We're also brought to you by no, I'm sorry. We're brought to you by Game Time. Yes, the Game Time app where I got my tickets earlier this week through Game Time. I'm going to get my tickets to the game tomorrow through Game Time, of course. So make sure you go ahead and tap into their last minute deals. That's what I use them for. I didn't even buy my ticket for the game yet. I haven't even bought it yet because I get the last minute great deals that they have, and they have a lowest price guarantee where if I find somebody else, maybe the person next to me got their ticket cheaper in the same section, same row, well, guess what? I can get credited 110% the difference. So make sure you use that promo code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, redeem codes SGPN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right. Who's up next? The Connecticut Sun are welcoming the Chicago Sky to town, this time in Mohegan Sun. Chicago Sky catching 9.5 on the road here. Open up at 10.5. It's down 9.5. 155.5 is the total injury report here for these two teams. And I have anything interesting? And no, doesn't
Yeah, it's a
matter.
Mabry game against a former team. That's the interesting part for this game.
Caleb Thornton. No, that's Liberty. Nope, I don't have any injury updates. All right. Scott buried the lead. Well, didn't bury the lead. We got the William Mabry revenge game. Or, I mean, it sounded like she asked for the trade, and the team was cool with her leaving and being out the locker room. So this could be a revenge game on both sides here. So,
I am going to point out, by the way, Chicago has covered this line in each of the first 2 meetings this season.
Yes, they have. Actually, in fact, if we look at the numbers, as a favorite of 7+ points, the Connecticut Sun are 5-8 ATS. 5-8. Ironically enough, the Chicago Sky is a dog of 7-10, 0-6-1. 0-6-1, 7-10. 10+, they're 3-1. But when you get to that 7-10 range, they have not covered the line yet. I don't know. I think they get up for this game.
I think. Wait, who gets up for this game?
Chicago.
Okay.
I think Chicago gets up for this one.
I'm really on the fence on this one because Chicago's looks so bad. And they got killed by the Mercury twice. I know Carter didn't play in the first one. Barely beat the Sparks. That game was dicey. So that was not exactly a positive showing there. Connecticut, though, beat the Sparks. Congrats, you didn't cover. Ended up losing to Atlanta on the road.
Shoot, that game was dicey. They almost lost that.
And then they beat the Wings and scored 109 points because the Wings are a basketball team. So I'm kind of on the fence here. I see a bunch of different lines too. I see ESPN as a 10.5. I saw one book with 8.5. To shop around, you can probably find a better line somewhere, but
let me put it like this. In the past 2 games, the Connecticut Sun the Connecticut Sun have scored 70 and 69 points.
Yep. The Wings game was just an extreme fluke because they're a joke of a basketball team. But
if that's your output, I'm not laying this number. If that's the output that we're expecting in this game, I'm not laying this number.
Yeah, I get it, but the Sun have scored 83+ in each of the first 2 meetings this season. You know what? I'll take a stand here. I'll lean to the Sun. No chance I bet this. No chance. Like, I have no interest at all betting the side, but we cover every game. I'll lean to the Sun because I think the Sky have just looked really bad, and I think that trading away Mabry was kind of symbolic. We don't really care much about this season. It just felt like a trade that you make when you're kind of, I don't want to say waving the flag on the season, but you get what I'm trying to say. It wasn't exactly an encouraging move to the rest of the locker room about your chances for the rest of the year.
I mean, she requested the trade, and the locker room wanted her out. Like,
I get it.
It seems like it worked because they didn't want her there.
You could say it worked, but at the same point, they have gotten killed in 2 of the first 3 games post-break. Like, I don't think they really have great guard play. The spacing, I've mentioned multiple times, being terrible.
I mean, Connecticut's gotten embarrassed 2 of the first 3 games through the break. They almost lost to the Sparks, and they lost to the Dream on the road and got blew out by 12. Like,
but how embarrassing is that loss to the Dream? I don't even know how embarrassing that is anymore. This team's actually not that bad.
I mean, prior to the Dream had 8 wins, so you're a 17-win team.
I mean, the Sky have no spacing at all in the front court, and the guards can't shoot besides Carter.
Neither can Connecticut.
Yeah, but Connecticut at least, can run some stuff with Osa Thomas. They have an actual point forward, point guard. I don't know what Chicago does to get people into their actual spots.
I mean, okay, so clear cut, the play is the under. You're taking under 155.5.
I'm leaning under in general because Connecticut's involved.
But how if this game goes under 155.5, like, what is this final score for them to still cover this line? And what's the final score for them to still cover this line and it goes under 155.5? Let's look.
82-70. That's where I'm at. Like 82-70. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's a spot where, once again, you could be right. I'm not betting the side. I got issues with both teams. The Sun are clearly better than the Sky team. And the Sky, once they traded away Mabry, I might not be the biggest Mabry fan. At least she gave you some threat on the perimeter. I don't really know what they're trying to do offensively at this point. I am going to go with Connecticut. I think that Chicago has a hard time
They're
scoring.
just not a good offensive team. They had 19 points from Dejanay Carrington in that last game and still couldn't get 70 points.
And then she called out everybody for not being at the arena.
Like,
But
I just, I can't lay that number. That's a really big number to lay with Connecticut, and they're not scoring over 70 points right now.
I get it. I'm just saying, I think that there's a chance that the Sky might just be awful. We might have reached that point in the season where they were fun to follow for a little while, and we made money, backing them when they were getting plus money. But watching them play for the last month or
They've
so,
only played the Mercury. That's it. I
Yeah,
feel
but
like that's one. So if you're saying with that logic, because they sucked against the Mercury for 2 games, then you should 100% be on them because they were good against Connecticut for 2 games.
I think I'm going to go Connecticut. I have serious issues with the Sky team.
Okay. I mean, I have
kinda where
issues
I'm
with
at.
the Sky too, but I have issues with Connecticut too. I think
I
Connecticut
have issues
wins.
with Connecticut too, but there's a tier system, and they're a couple tiers above, and they're at home. Off competitive. I mean, they were great defensively against the Sparks. I just don't know how the Sky are going to score. That's kind of where I'm at. So give me the.
I'll be interested. I think Connecticut. You already said Connecticut's going over their team total of 82.5 because you pistoled them in at 82.
That's not over. That's under.
I mean, under. You already said they're going under. I have room if they get to 82 and that's the highest they get. I mean, we'll see. I don't think they haven't shown me anything that says that they're holding them under 72 points. It has to be 72 points. They have to hold them under 72.
I can see that happening. I saw them score 68 against the Mercury. The Mercury don't guard anybody. They can hold this team to 70.
All right.
It's not the most attractive game for me, but that's where I'm leaning.
Under 155.5 is the better play, but
that I agree.
I feel like they're correlated. If Connecticut gets over, like if Connecticut covers, then the game has to go over because there's only a limited amount of points. They just would have to have a masterclass defensively, and I mean possibly they could. All right. Player props. Yes, Kennedy Carter is playing. Somebody asked that.
I think I'm going back to Cardoso under a rebounds. It's at 8.5. It's at minus 135. We know Reese has taken all of them anyway. Like Cardoso doesn't really get many rebounds in general, but she's gone under this number in 5 of the last 6. She had the big rebounding game against the Sparks. She had 14. Sparks have no front court depth at all. They're not a very good rebounding team, but Connecticut is. Connecticut's number 1 in the league in rebounding, and if Reese is going to end up with 12 or whatever she's going to end up with, not many to go around. So I'll go with the under on Cardoso rebounds here at 8.5.
You know what you shouldn't go under on? Why are her points still at 8.5? Why are her points still at 8.5? Are people not watching the games?
She's been scoring. She's been working on the layup package.
Bro, she said it, and she's been over this line in every game since
she's backed it up.
And she's been consistent. It's not like she's going out there and being inefficient. Matter of fact, where's those attempts? Like she was 6 for 7, 6 for 9, 5 for 8 in those 3 games, and she finished with, what was it, 10, 15, and 12 points.
It's good enough.
8.5? You guys are crazy. They are not paying attention to that. I'm playing it again.
I'm on like Carrington points here at 11.5. It's minus 120. She's been very good. She's gone over this number in 7 of the last 10, 13 of the last 19. She has had 12 plus points in 3 of the last 4 games. Against the Sky, she's gone over in 2 of the last 3. I mean, the Sky, we know, are not a good defensive team, and Carrington's not afraid to go to the rim. I think that she can get to the foul line a couple times. I don't mind her prop, though. I mean, that feels like a low number at 11.5. So I'll go with the under on Carrington. I mean, I'll go with the over. She had a great game. She had 19 last time out.
All right. I think Connecticut is a bad matchup. Let's see. Yeah, Cardoso. Cardoso is really the play that I'm in love with.
I like the lower rebounds. You like the higher points. So there you go. By the way, for
Reese
reference,
rebounds.
Angel Reese had 12.5. Yeah, that's the 12
Yeah,
and a half.
12 and a half is even money, by the way.
Yeah.
Play that now. It's going to 13 and a half before the game starts. She just had 20, bro. Like, and I get it. It was Griner. But, like, shoot.
She had
5
10 in the last game against Connecticut. I think I'm staying away from Reese rebounds in this game, personally. I still think she's going to go over, but I'm really not that intrigued. Connecticut's done a good job in the first 2 meetings of actually somewhat containing her.
Yeah,
They've
but
allowed
she was
15
also
rebounds.
that was also what, the beginning of the season? What's the date?
Well, they faced off twice. One was in the middle of that double-double streak. But they faced off one time in the beginning of the season in May. She had 5. Faced off in June. A couple weeks later, she had 10. So, yes, she did play 36 and a half minutes, though, in that second game. So she played a decent amount of minutes. I'm going to stay away from Reese. Maybe if you want the points under because you think she can't hit a layup and Connecticut's defense is still solid in the paint, then maybe Reese just struggles scoring-wise. But, yeah, I think I'm going to stay away. I'd still lean over, but I'm not going to touch it.
All right. Anything on Connecticut side that is really intriguing?
I mentioned Carrington. Here. That was basically all I had.
Oh, I didn't mention. You gotta play Marina. I mean, for
Her
what
points
you,
are at 13 and a half.
You gotta play. She's just as spiteful as everybody on the Sky team. So, like I said, it's a revenge game. I think it's a revenge game both ways. You gotta play Marina here. When's the last time? This is all the way back in Dallas that you'd have to go back to the last time she played the Sky, but this is it. This is not going to be a nice little homecoming. This is going to be a lot of back and forth, and she's going to go toe to toe with all of them. So I do like Marina to go over points prop as well. Got to play the revenge angle.
I actually don't mind Marina assists here at 3.5. I think 3.5 is too low. She's gone over this number quite regularly, actually. I know that she just changed teams, but she has gone over this number in 14 of the last 15 games. The one exception was against the Sparks last game because they scored 69 points. So I think that 4 is a pretty realistic number. The Sky were great at preventing assists early in the year, not so much lately. I don't mind going with Maybreeze over 3.5 assists.
I think DeWanna Bonner has a game.
Okay.
She's been pretty bad the past couple of games. But
female Brandon Ingram?
I'm just trying to think of who the heck is. I said KD.
It's female Brandon Ingram. She takes like 4 shots a game, 4 threes a game, and you think like 1 or 2 of them are maybe going to go in. She's not a great 3-point shooter. I'll go Brandon Ingram.
But she's a very, very.
I don't think she's good. I don't think she's good enough to beat KD. So I'll go Brandon Ingram.
Well, I mean, like, not good as in play, but like when you watch her on the court with the length and to be able to carry the ball up the court and do all this other stuff. Like,
my point is, KD has been like a top 10, top 5 player in the league.
That's why I said it wasn't like the type of player like being a top player in the league. The play style in the play style.
That's why I think Ingram's a pretty good comp.
Whatever. All right. Who is stopping her? Like, who is guarding her?
It's either going to be Reese away from the 3-point line or definitely not Cardoso. I'll tell you that much. I have no idea.
So I'm just like, I mean, you see, I guess Mickey is going to try to guard her, but I can't.
Good luck.
Yeah. DeWanna Bonner. This is the get right game. She's had 2 really bad games. And it's not like coming off the bench is a weird role for her. Like, she's come off the bench a lot in her career as the 6th person off the bench. So 15 and a half. I think this is now when the market has overcorrected because she's been in over 15 and a half. And 4 of the last 5 games against the Chicago Sky, including, I believe, the 2 games earlier this season, yes, went 19 and 16 in both of those games. So I think this is a little bit too much of an overcorrection because she's been bad in the last 2 games. Over 15 and a half, DeWanna Bonner.
I'd honestly consider a flyer on Bonner to lead the game in points.
Ooh.
I think that's a potential pivot.
Scott.
If that's available, I don't mind potentially taking that.
Scott.
Let me just see if I can find
It's going to be a low-scoring game. Who else is going to... If it's not Kennedy, who else is leading the game in points?
I don't see a line on it, but if it's anywhere over 2
It's
to
gonna
1,
be there.
I'll consider it.
Who's the high? Who has the most? Let me see.
I'll see if they have an alt line on Bonner.
She's has the most points in the game, so it's probably not going to be that good of a price. It might be a little bit of a plus price, but it's probably not going to be that good.
Then maybe I'll look for an alt line instead on Dawana if I can find maybe like 20.
But I mean, shoot, between that or Mabry.
See, you're saying Mabry, but I still don't think she's that great of a player. I understand that, she was a big acquisition because she shoots threes, but she's shooting 38% from the floor this season. She really is just not an efficient shooter, and she's not getting as many attempts on this team. So I don't mind going for Bonner instead, because at least I know that she can actually create her own offense. Bonner for 20 points is plus 255. 255? I think that's a good price.
Let me see here. She's had, yeah. I mean, Marina Mabry's. I mean, I don't see what's wrong. Her everything looks about the same thing Marina Mabry does. Like, she gives you those random games of 20 plus every now and then she's rather, like you said, she's rather inconsistent. But the inconsistency is that, oh, well, we know that we're going to get a couple of good games out of her. So.
Yeah. By the way, I see Ryan saying that Bonner to be the leading scorer is plus 310.
What? Really? Yeah, I would absolutely play plus.
I'm trying to think if I want the 310 or if I want the 20 plus. Can she actually lead the game in scoring less than 20?
Yeah.
She could. I think she'll probably end up.
I mean, you said it was going to be an 82-70 game.
Yeah, 82, though, means I'm giving the Suns some points. But yeah, I'll give Bonner 20. So yeah, why not?
20 plus is plus 255.
I think it's a good price.
Yeah, maybe
she's been really bad lately, but the one game in between though, at 29 against Dallas. So
I would play Mabry top point scorer over this Mabry's 20 plus at plus 330. That extra 50 is enough, because if she gets over to 20, she's probably the top scorer, more than likely. Carter, I don't think is actually going to be top scorer. That's actually a terrible price.
No, you got the Suns defense. You have the Sun defense going.
Yeah, and Dejanay Carrots is playing in a game. Like, that's absolutely not. That's a horrible price. It's gonna be Bonner. It's 100% gonna be Bonner. We're on this.
It's a great price up there at 310.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Great price. Okay. That's enough of that one. Last game of the slate. Deja vu. Look at this. The Las Vegas Aces are playing the... Wow, this line just flipped. Oh my gosh. I did not see... This line flipped since we've been on the air. Like, it's completely flipped. Okay, so the Las Vegas Aces are on the road going to play the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx are... Well, they were laying 2. When we went on air, they were laying 1. Now, the Aces are laying 1.5. 167.
That's what I had written down. I had Aces minus 1.5 written down when we started.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. Aces laying 1.5 here. Deja vu principles say that, and I wish I had saw this. I didn't even see that when we were talking about the game, but I wish I realized that they were playing this back-to-back set. Deja vu principles says take the dog, take the favorite second game. Guess what? The dog plus 7 when it closed. Minnesota got the outright win, and now Aces are laying 1.5 on the road.
But we disagreed about the first meeting, and I was right, because I was just thinking that I can't trust the Aces at all. They don't guard anybody, and they almost gave up 100 points. It was pretty straightforward, and the Lynx won. So I felt pretty good about that call.
And it went over.
It went over, too, because they scored about 100 points. The Aces are favored on the road. They did win the first road game against the Lynx this season. You've mentioned that they've done well against the team historically. I think the Lynx are very good. I think they're a very, very good dark horse candidate team to win the title. They would probably be... I would put them below the Aces just because they've done it before. I'll show some respect. I'd put them above Seattle. I think I would. I think the Lynx have earned that 3 spot for me. If I was talking about favorites to win the title. You have the Liberty at 1. I'll keep the Aces at 2 because they've done it before. I think 3 is Minnesota. I think Minnesota's really, really good. You think I'm overreacting or no? Because I think that they're actually just a really, really good basketball team. When the Commissioner's Cup, they're solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a good basketball team. But, I mean, I didn't play the principal in the first game, and I got burned. So, I can't go against the principle. I gotta go back. I gotta run the Aces back.
Do you think they can guard anybody?
Because this is exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna not go against the principle this time, and then it's gonna play out exactly how the principal said I was supposed to play out, which is take the dog the first one, take the favorite the second.
So
I mean,
exactly?
they've won in this building before. They were laying 4.5 in that and covered. This is an immediate rematch game, so it's not like there was time in between. You have who I still believe is a good coach in Becky Hammond making adjustments in the second time around, even though they're on the road. And then you have a team that is now just hungry to pay this team back. Like Jackie Young had a really, really good scoring day. The issue that the team had, and you could kind of see it, and it's so funny because Kelsey Plum called it out in the interview, which I know she's getting fined for, but talked about the officiating and the screens, and then immediately after timeout, the Lynx had a moving screen that didn't get called. So like now it's on officiating's radar. They probably had some type of talk before the game of, hey, watch these million screens that they play. I mean, it just seems like a really good bounce back spot.
For the record, I know that you mentioned the moving screen game, and I'm sure there were some moving screens. I thought that the Aces got their asses kicked. That's kind of just how I thought the game went. I thought Minnesota came out and punched them in the mouth. I thought it had no impact on the game at all, but she wants to, deflect the blame away from her team and get
No,
the
100%.
officials. It's
And I get both
gamesmanship. I
sides
get
of
it.
it. I get both sides of it, but I also can't I was like, oh wow, like it's funny. I literally was laughing. I'm like, wow, like I think it's weird that she said that, talking about it in the middle of the game, but also it's very funny that as soon as she said it, it literally happened right
Yeah.
again, and it was pretty obvious.
You could also
And it
make the
did get
argument though
called.
that most screens in basketball today are in the moving category, and they just
It's
don't call
like holding. Like you could call
Yeah,
holding on
you can
every
call it
play
on
in the
anything.
NFL,
Yeah.
on every play in the NFL. So I don't know, man.
I'll put it this way. I think it's definitely a better spot for the Aces than the Lynx because the Aces can make adjustments. They need to make adjustments. What are the Lynx supposed to do? You go through film and you scored 98 points. Like, what are you supposed to learn from that game? You learned nothing because you had a perfect game, basically.
I'm playing the deja vu. I'm taking the Aces, later 1.5,
I think I'm
and I'm
gonna
taking the under.
agree with you. I think I'll
Taking
agree
the
with you
under.
about the Aces. I think the Aces once again will make some adjustments. It's very difficult to make adjustments right after you have basically a perfect game, because what are you supposed to fix in the post game? You shot like what, above 50% from the floor. You were above 60 for a decent portion of the game. Collier was great. I thought Hines Allen was really, really good. I thought she was really good in that game. That's a big pickup for the Lynx too. It just McBride didn't even do anything, and they won anyway. It just seemed like everything went right. Courtney Williams was so damn good in that game too. I'll go with the Aces. I hope that they bounce back. I still don't like them defensively at all, but it is a good spot for them to get some revenge. I'll go with the Aces, but I am going to lean to the over though. I get the argument of a back-to-back immediate rematch revenge angle. I'm not taking it under with the Aces. I can't do it. Moving screen or regular screen, they're not guarding the screens. So give me the pick and roll offense working out well for the Lynx. They also can't guard the 3-point line. So I see points. Give me the over.
Well, a lot of them threes did come off of the screen. I
No,
will just
correct.
admit, watching the game, like I was like, I thought she was exaggerating with the amount of calls that they didn't get. I felt like they were missing calls, but I think she exaggerated the amount. However, as somebody who was rooting for the Aces, a lot of those screens resulted in a made three.
Yeah,
Like a
because
lot.
it kind of goes back to what Shep said, which was Minnesota dominating the paint, but that's kind of what the offense does. The spacing for this offense is incredible, and they're such a good 3-point shooting team. They can just kill you with spacing. They basically run a 4-out system, sometimes 5-out if Collier plays the 5, and they'll just kill you. They'll go pick and roll. They'll pick and roll you to death. They'll let Collier roll, and then somebody's open in the backside for 3. They have just a phenomenal offensive system. And then the Aces can't guard anybody. I think they'll do enough scoring to win the game, so give me the over. But I'm not picking the Aces to win because of their defense. I think that offensively they'll be sharper, and the Lynx won't be as hot from the floor as they were. So I like the over because I kind of have to, but I'll lean to the Aces.
I'll say what the Lynx better have some type of defensive adjustment, because if they don't, the Aces are running away with this. Because if they don't have the offensive game, like listen, I didn't even realize that the threes count was this much, but they were 11 for 19 in the
They were great.
WNBA.
Yeah.
Like that's literally perfect. That's base. That's insane. What? Who goes 11 for 19 from three in the WNBA? So if they aren't complete all the way on, yeah, that's making me feel better about Aces. Like that was a perfect game.
I do
That was
want to
a
give the
perfect game.
Aces props on one thing though. Even though Collier had a great game because she shot the ball very well, I was a big fan of how physical the Aces were with her. She was constantly getting switched on to like Chelsea Gray or like Jackie Young, and they were basically just shoving her off her spot, which I appreciate. At least they're fighting down low, which matters. Now it didn't matter because Collier shot the ball well, had a couple threes, and
Bro,
she,
and a lot of
did her
those
thing.
shots was like, come on, she was throwing up a hope and a prayer on a few of those shots.
Some of
and
them,
it
but
was
the point is she
going
made
in.
the outside shots. She had a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was going
defensive
in.
breakdowns, a couple of pick and rolls that were wide open backdoor, which I thought was inexcusable. But I liked how physical they were in the half court with Collier, and I think you're expecting some regression from three. So I'll lean Aces, but I still like the over.
All right, I'm one under. Give me under 167.5. Everything went right. Player props.
Well, I
We
know we
both.
both like Collier under PRA.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What's the line now?
It's at 32.5. It's where it closed last game. She had 34 last game, and she had that ridiculous end of shot clock shot in the first quarter. Had an offensive rebound on a 3 at the end of the first half. She barely went over with 34, and she played a great game because she's been really bad rebounding against this team. They do a very good job of boxing her out.
Yeah.
So, I'll run it back.
And she normally doesn't have like.
That's the
Great
most points she
games.
scored
Yeah.
against the Aces in years. They usually hold her to like 17, and she just had a great game.
She just had a good game. I'm fading it. She's not doing it again. That's another reason. If we saw Collier's not having that great game again. All right. If I had a first quarter line on Asia Wilson, I would probably play it. I cannot imagine that she doesn't come out here like possessed in this game. And it's not like she didn't shoot the ball bad. She really didn't. It just
she turned invisible in
they were
the
very
second.
good. Yeah. They were very good defensively in forcing the ball out and forcing somebody else to play and beat them. That was the thing that I thought that they did really, really well, is forcing the ball out of her hands, because if she wants, she'll take 20, 22, 20, she'll take shots all day.
It was mostly in the second quarter. Asia just did nothing for basically the entire quarter, and they tried to get her back involved. But she ended up with a decent stat line, but usually you expect her stat line to be in the 20s with like double-digit rebounds. That just didn't happen. So, anything else?
I like the rebounds again. She had 9 last game. I think there was more opportunity there. I took it and it didn't hit, but I'm probably going to run it back.
I like Ray assists in this game. I see her assists are at 4.5. I found a 135 on Caesars. I don't mind that. She had 5 in the last game that they played, but she's been going over. She's not been shooting that well. She actually looked pretty sharp against Minnesota, though, which is a good sign. But she has had at least 5 in 8 of the last 10, at least 5 in 6 of the last 7. And against Minnesota, historically, she's gone over in 5 straight. So I think that it's a good line. I like the over for assists.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. All right. Lock, dog, underdog. Let's see. For my lock, or the fade, I guess, until I can hit a lock. It's one of these unders.
Okay.
Do I want... Does Connecticut run the score up? Is that a possibility?
Well, you said you like the under, so I'm assuming.
I guess I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go with the Mystics under because I'm going to the game.
Okay. Well, that's miserable. You're gonna be just there cheering for bricks. What kind of fun experience is that? You're gonna be miserable for you're gonna spend half.
But at least I hit. So it's either I see points and I watch a good game, or I don't see points and I win money.
Yeah, but every time you're gonna be hearing Ariel Atkins for 3, you're gonna want to die. That sounds like a miserable experience.
No, because I'm probably gonna play her point. I just feel like I have to really go back in the archives, but I swear every single time I've seen them, Ariel Atkins has gone off. Like I'm
Having an
almost
under
positive.
at a live event is absolutely miserable. I can attest to that. It's really bad.
You think so? You don't think I
I've
should
done
do
it.
it?
It's. I'm telling you, it's a terrible time. You might
So I
win your
should.
bet, but you're going to be miserable in your seat.
I mean, I get up for the defensive matchups and fine. I
You
guess I
can
won't
take
take the
it. Once
live
again, it
one.
might win. I'm just saying, you're not going to have a good time. You might bet it. You might not even matter if you take it as a lock
He
or not.
does have a good
You're going to
point.
bet it anyway. But
I am gonna bet it anyway.
so it's like
That's
who
the funny
cares?
part. I
You're
am
betting it
gonna bet
anyway,
it
so
anyway.
just take the
No,
Mystics.
but at
Just
this
take it.
point, the lock record. I think the lock record means more than the bets, and I'm tanking the record right now.
No, so take the Mystics under. If that's your favorite play, take it. I'm just saying you will not have a good
No,
time
but
watching that game.
I don't want you to jinx me having a good time at the game.
Well, the tickets are going to be free if you win your bet anyway, so you just basically got to go to a game for the hell of it. If that makes you feel any better.
All right, man. I'm gonna go with the Sparks and the Mystics under 161 and just have a bad time at the game.
Yep.
But I just don't see where the scoring is coming from. I do think it is a high total. I don't know where the scoring is coming from. I'm going back and forth. So if you want to fade me and you want to go with the under, the other play was going to be Chicago and Connecticut under 155.5. It was probably going to be one of those two plays. I settled on Washington and the Sparks for my dog.
So many choices.
We do like Bonner, but I feel like you're gonna go Bonner, so I don't want to do that.
I'm not going Bonner. You can take Bonner.
I think
Yeah.
I'll go. How would I play it though?
Most points plus 310.
Yeah, I feel like the most points angle has to be the best angle because I can get there with 19. 19, she can still lead the game in points, honestly. Dang. Who said Marina Mabry was plus 3 whatever? She's plus 500 here. Crap.
I heard somebody say 380 offshore, which I thought was pretty cheap, but
no, she's 500. She's 5-1.
You might be able to find a better one on Bonner on like legal books, but I heard that the best one is 310.
All right, I'll take DeJuan Bonner plus 380. Top point scorer. I see it there on FanDuel.
All right.
That'll get me out the hole. That'll definitely get me out the hole for this week.
All right. I already know what my dog's going to be. I'm torn between two plays in the same game. Do I go Chelsea Gray over 4.5 assists, or do I go with the under 32.5 PRA for Collier again after it killed me in the last game with her landing with 34?
Oh, you should go with that under because I was considering making that my lock and I didn't.
Yeah, but your locks have been cold, so I don't know if I
Yeah.
should go with it or not.
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's why I'm kind of thinking about it. But Collier, historically speaking, has been quite bad against the Aces, and she had a great game. She's been in great form, though. I think I'm going to go with Gray. Give me Gray over 4.5 assists at 135 on Caesars. She's been great historically speaking against the Lynx. She's had at least 5 assists in 5 straight games against the Lynx. She's had actually 3 double-digit assist games against Minnesota. So I trust her assisting. Asia had a bunch of assists last game because they were basically double-teaming her on the catch. I think the Aces and Becky Hammond will come up with other ways to get Asia opportunities to score. She had a quiet scoring game, and Chelsea still had 5. Usually she can get a couple of freebies on pick and rolls with Asia, and those really weren't there. So I think that's going to happen in this game. Gray also has been good at facilitating recently. She has had at least 5 assists in 8 of the last 10, and at least 5 in 13 of the last 20. This season, by the way, she's gone over in a 10 of 15. So 67%. I think it's a pretty solid number, and she's done well historically speaking. Give me Gray over 4.5 assists as my lock. For my dog, I am going to go with the play that I didn't mention before. I mentioned before that I like Tina Charles rebounds. I was going to take that as my lock at minus 140, but I am going to go with an alt line.
Ooh.
Give me Tina Charles, 11.5 rebounds. Give me the over.
Sheesh.
And you can find 11.5 rebounds available at about plus 260, I think? I think it was plus 260. Let me just quickly see what I can find. It is plus 260. I think that she's going to rebound well. It's on FanDuel. She had 17 rebounds in the last game a couple days ago, had 15 against Connecticut, the number 1 rebounding team in the league. She has been fantastic. 32 rebounds, though, in the last 2 games. I can get you for 12 at plus 260. I think it's a bargain. Give me Tina Charles. Who's going to stop her? Griner? I'm good. Give me Charles over 11.5 rebounds at plus 260.
All right. So, do you want to play? Well, Chelsea Gray. Yeah, no. So Chelsea Gray, 4.5 assists. The higher was 0.91x. So I didn't play that one in underdog. So as of right now, I have underdog as Tina Charles higher. Higher 9.5 rebounds. That's 1.02x spicy. We got DeWanna Bonner higher 15.5 points, and Afisa Collier lower 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, 6.12x. You add in $100, you can get $612 on that underdog lineup. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. That's NBA SGPN. Will I hit a lock? Those are the odds right now. Will I hit the lock? I think I'm plus money now. I think I would be plus money in this stretch to hit a lock. Let's say plus 110. Plus 110. I'm plus 110 to hit a lock.
I don't know what I'm at, but who knows?
Shoot, minus 250.
I don't know if I missed a lock since we started the second half. I'm not sure if I did.
Let me see.
I think I'm undefeated with the locks since the Olympic break, but I'm not totally sure about that. I know I definitely have. Did I have one reverse sweep?
No, that Mystics Links under 155 didn't go.
Oh yeah, I got the dog. I think I got the dog in that episode.
Yeah,
not sure.
That under.
Yeah, so I've had 0 reverse sweeps, but I've only lost 1 lock. So thank you.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Scott. Hey man, that's what happens, yo. When one of us is down, the other picks up the slack, and I appreciate it. That's why I play both of our plays, just to make sure I'm not broke. All right. Anything else for people, Scott, before we get out of here?
No. I know that we're doing, of course, the games for Friday. Are we doing an episode for the Saturday games?
What's on Saturday? I didn't look at the schedule.
I can check. I think there are 2 games.
2 games on
Saturday. I didn't see lines on
Saturday.
those, though. So maybe we just skip ahead to Sunday?
Yeah. Well, I see 2 games. I see lines for Saturday. So maybe we'll do Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
And how many games are tomorrow? Okay, yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Tomorrow I can. Ooh, I might actually not be able to. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta look at the schedule.
We'll figure it out. Either Friday night or Saturday night. We'll figure it out.
All right. Cool. And it's 3 games on a Monday? What? Games on a Monday in the WNBA? All right. Make sure you go ahead and give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And he's at Reichel Radio. I'm at @reallyreal__. Make sure you like the video on the way out. There's 60 of you. It should be at least 60 likes on the way out. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end like this. I do like that Shakira Austin rebounds over Chef Mike. We are out of here.